Hello and welcome to the programme. Rescue operations are underway across much of southern Turkey and northern Syria following a huge earthquake that has killed at least 3,500 people. Rescuers are racing to save those trapped beneath the rubble, and people have spent the day digging with their bare hands. The first earthquake struck in the early hours of Monday morning while people were asleep. Now, the epicenter was near the Turkish city of Gaziantep, which is near the border with Syria and measured a magnitude of 7.8. The second earthquake measured 7.5 magnitude and hit 130 kilometers to the north of the first. Millions of people across Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Cyprus and Israel felt the earthquake. The United Nations has called for an international response to the earthquakes. World leaders have pledged to send aid, but freezing temperatures are already hampering the aid effort. Our Middle East correspondent Anna Foster arrived in Turkey this morning and has spent the day travelling towards the epicenter close to the border with Syria. She sent this report from the town of Osmaniye, about 130 kilometres from the epicenter.
Running for their lives. Shaken to their foundations, whole buildings fell. And across southern Turkey, peace became panic. People helped where they could. This was a series of powerful earthquakes, not just one. They were only around 20 kilometers under the surface, and shallow quakes caused the most damage. In towns and cities across a huge area, the rescue efforts began. With diggers and sniffer dogs, teams of people began to dig frantically in search of survivors. For decades, Turkey has been bracing itself for a huge quake. Tonight, everyone is a rescuer, and they all want to find a survivor.
Çocuk çıktı, çocuk çıktı.
It's a painful wait for news.
There are people still trapped under rubble. I have a friend living in this apartment. His children were rescued from the top floor, but only his daughter broke an arm. We'll see what happened to those living on the ground floors. May God give us a speedy recovery.
I was sleeping when my wife suddenly woke me up. The quake was very severe, very scary. It took almost 2 minutes until the shaking stopped.
Outside Turkey, the world stands ready to help. Offers to send specialist equipment and teams of experts have been coming in all day.
We have received several offers of international aid for our country. Offers of assistance from 45 countries, including NATO and the European Union, have reached us.
In the city of Adana, help arrived quickly. Alongside the emergency services, young men fit enough to move the rubble stepped in.
You can really see the size of the effort that's going on here on top of this pile of rubble. Rescuers are using their bare hands, and you can see them throwing down blocks and trying to search desperately for survivors. This used to be a 12-storey apartment building, just like the one behind it, and so far they've only found 3 survivors.
For families with missing relatives, the wait for news is agony.
We all heard the sound of the earthquake. She has her sister down there, under the rubble.
It's 8 people under there. 3 of them are children. My uncle and his wife and their son and their daughter and 3 children.
There are my sister and her 3 children under the building. Also her husband, her mother and father-in-law are there too.
Turkey has dealt with natural disasters before. Few are on this scale. As night falls, cities like Osmaniye are without power, in darkness. The few lights there are have been sent to searches that offer the best chance of hope. It's still too early to know the real extent of the destruction here. Finding those who are trapped beneath collapsed buildings will take days, if not weeks. The death toll is already many hundreds. The numbers of injured stands in the thousands. It's bitterly cold and the rain keeps falling. The aftermath of this quake is testing rescuers to their limits. Anna Foster, BBC News, Osmaniye.